Hi, I'm Eoin Colfer, author of the Artemis Fowl books, and I'd like to read for you an extract from my latest book, Artemis Fowl and the Atlantis Complex. And this is exclusively for all you people at Waterstones.com. In this extract, Artemis Fowl has suffered from a bout of multiple personality disorder, and his own personality has been subjugated, and instead a new personality, Orion, has emerged. And this guy is really nice, and he's quite romantic, and he's useless in the current situation where they are stranded on a glacier in Iceland and trying to follow a probe which has just blown up their ship, leaving nothing but a small escape pod. "You are Artemis Fowl," said Holly Short. "For years you were public enemy number one." "I am not Artemis Fowl," protested Orion. "I share his body and his knowledge of the Gnomish tongue, among other things, but I have a completely different personality. I am what is known as an alter." Holly snorted. I don't think that defense will stand up in front of a tribunal." "Oh, it does," said Orion brightly. "All the time." Holly stood erect. "We need to follow that probe, work out where it's going, and somehow get word through to Haven." Orion smiled. "You know, Miss Holly, you look very dramatic like that, backlit by the fire. Very attractive, if I may say so. I know you shared a moment passionné with Artemis, which he subsequently fouled up with his typical boorish behaviour. Let me just throw something out there for you to consider while you're chasing the probe. I share Artemis's passion, but not his boorishness. No pressure, just think about that." This was enough to elicit a deafening moment of silence, even in the middle of a crisis, which Orion seemed to be blissfully unaffected by. Foley was the first to speak. "What's that look you have on your face there, Commander Short? What's going through your head right now? Don't think about it, just tell me." Holly ignored him, but that didn't stop the centaur talking. "You had a moment of passion with Artemis Fowl," he said. I don't remember reading about that in your report." Holly may have been blushing, or it may have been the aforementioned dramatic backlighting. "It wasn't in my report, okay? Because there was no moment of passion." Foley didn't give up so easily. "So nothing happened, Holly?" "Nothing worth talking about. When we went back in time, my emotions got a little jumbled. It was temporary, okay? Can we please focus? We are supposed to be professionals." "Not me," said Orion cheerily. "I'm just a teenager with hormones running wild. And may I say, young fairy lady, they're running wild in your direction." Holly lifted her visor and looked at the hormonal teenager in the eye. "This had better not be a game, Artemis. If you do not have some serious psychoses, you will be sorry." "Oh, I'm crazy, all right. I do have plenty of psychoses," said Orion cheerily. "Multiple personality, delusional dementia, OCD. I've got them all. But most of all, I'm crazy about you." "That's not a bad line," muttered Foley. "He is definitely not Artemis." Holly stamped the slush from her boots. "We have two objectives. First, we need to hide evidence of fairy technology, i.e. the shuttle, from curious humans until such time as we can send an LEP retrieval team to haul it below. And our second objective is to somehow stay on the tail of that probe and get a message through to Police Plaza that it's up here." She glanced sharply at Foley. "Could this be a simple malfunction?" "No," said the centaur with absolute certainty. "And I say that with absolute certainty. That probe has been deliberately reprogrammed. The Amorphobots too. They were never meant to be used as weapons. Then we have an enemy. Police Plaza needs to be warned." From behind came a sudden wrenching noise as the shuttle sank a little lower in the ice like a defeated warrior. "You know," mused Foley, "that ship is pretty heavy, and the rock shelf there is not very—" Before he could finish, The entire shuttle disappeared into the landscape, taking the restaurant with it as though both had been swallowed by a subterranean kraken. Seconds later, Artemis's ice cube nano-wafer cannon tumbled into the newborn chasm. "That was incredibly quiet," said Orion. "If I hadn't seen it, I never would have known." "This terrain is like dwarf cheese, full of holes," said Holly, and then she was up and gone, racing across the ice towards the new crater. Orion and Foley took their time, strolling across the tundra, chatting amiably. "On the plus side," said Foley, "there's our first objective achieved. The evidence is gone." Orion nodded and then asked, "Dwarf cheese?" "Cheese made by dwarves." "Oh," said Orion, relieved. "They make it. It's not actually..." "Oh no, what a horrible thought." "Exactly."